Good morning, and welcome to the signing of this partnership agreement between the Grenada Football Association and Glenelg. Good morning to everyone viewing from across the globe, anybody listening from across the globe. I'd like to welcome Mr. Richard Dixon, Managing Director of Glenelg, and his team. Also members or staff of the Grenada Football Association, General Secretary, Mr. Carl Lee, and members of the media. It's a very exciting day for football in Grenada. We're here to finally formalize a partnership that's been working for the last 3.5 years since I've been here. It's a partnership that's been ongoing, but today we're here to actually put that partnership in writing and formalize as to the efforts shared between Glenelg and the GFA. First, I want to thank Glenelg for believing in the GFA, in Project GFA, for understanding the need to not just contribute to the supply of refreshment or water in this case, but more so to understand the importance of health and wellness, not just of our footballers, but of our people, not the people of Grenada. You know, it's easy to just provide some water for our national teams to refresh themselves after training, during matches, etc. But I think it's more important to understand the benefits. And you know, many of us would have went to school and would have seen the science, the studies, as to the importance of water to the human beings, but more so for athletes. And our athletes are competing at the highest level, whether they be it our under-14 national team, our grassroots program, our primary school program, our senior men's, senior women's national team. It's very important that they replenish whatever water that's been lost during their training and matches. And I think Glenelg understands the need to support the GFA. I think Glenelg understands, and this is much more than Glenelg doing its corporate social responsibility. I think it's more so in them understanding the need to provide support to a national organization, an organization that represents the country, not just once a year, but an organization that represents the country at under 14, under 15 boys and girls, under 17 boys and girls, under 20 boys and girls, and senior men and senior women. You know, we have over 10,000 footballers in this country, whether from grassroots to school football, to our leagues, to our national teams, even to as far as the masters, which I know Richard plays from time to time at the masters level. But we have so many individuals engaged in the sport of football in this country. And this partnership will provide more encouragement to our players to know that we have a company that's fully supportive, fully involved in terms of their development, in terms of their health, in terms of their wellness. And I want to thank Richard and his team and his company for understanding the need to provide support to the GFA. If you go back, you'll understand that for years GFA had struggled to get support, corporate support, because of an image and everybody knows all the stories. And you know, I think now we've seen the re-emergence of a new GFA, the re-emergence of a new brand, the re-emergence of a new organization. And I'm happy that Glenelg has observed and now has actively sorted the partnership with us. And I know for sure it's not just to benefit them as a company trying to promote their company, but also because they understand the need to invest in football and invest in sports. And we greatly appreciate it. And we're thankful and we're happy that we can come today to formalize the agreement. You know, Glenelg been providing us with water for all our national team matches for the last 3.5 years, without making any major announcement, without showing off that they've been providing support to a national organization. Quietly, they've been providing lots of support to us, even when the times of struggle. You know, there was a time when the plant had some issues in terms of supply, etc. They were still there with us. So we're happy, we're grateful, we're thankful for Glenelg and the opportunity to partner. I'm certain that you'll see fruits of your partnership with GFA. Our national teams will appreciate your continued support. And our players around the country, our fans, now will see Glenelg as a very serious company when it comes to health and wellness of this country, not just of the football. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you, Richard, and your team for showing up and agreeing to partner with us. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Marlon, and thank you to the GFA for granting us this opportunity. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone for being here, the staff of the GFA, the media, those online and abroad who are watching this historic, if I may say, media launch. The thing about Glenelg is that we have been involved in community projects for a number of years, and it is part of the thing that we consider to be our most integral and, let's say, #1 priority. Well, you're always in business to make money, and that's key, because without that, you can't do the things we're about to do. But we also want to be able to give back to the community, and we felt that having a partnership with the GFA gives us the ideal opportunity to give back to the communities that, from a futuristic point of view, will contribute to the development and the welfare of Grenada. What we do here is something we consider as partnering with an entity that has as key thing on its agenda to develop people, because we know that football or sports in general helps the community. There's a lot that's going on around us, influences from abroad, which pulls our young people away from meaningful activities. And I think football gives them an opportunity to become disciplined, because sports gives you that discipline. It allows them the opportunity to be involved in something meaningful. And at some point in time, they too will give back to continue the cycle of building a nation. And the GFA had so far, what we've, speaking to Marlon, and I really do like a lot of the things that the GFA has on its agenda. It's not just about football, because most people see it as just sports. But the GFA and with Glenelg, what we see is that we can combine and contribute to this community. So Glenelg is proud to be here, to be a part of the GFA. We do believe that what we've done over the years will continue. And this media launch is a full representation of the meaningful partnership that two major entities, and I should say significant parts of the fabric of Grenada, will represent and make sure that our young people especially have something they can look forward to and have some support from us. So on behalf of the GFA and Glenelg, I'll say, let's make this thing work. Thanks, Marlon. Yes. Yeah, we should probably just do the signing and proceed. So we'll proceed with the signing now. once again. Pleased to be on board. Yes.
Now we'll now open up the floor for any questions, any comments, any statements from media.
Glenelg, yeah. Well, I usually don't like to put things in a dollar value. So there's an undisclosed amount that we've contributed from a financial point of view, but it's more of a split contribution that we're making. And I think the most important thing is that the value that the contribution that we're making is going to be, it's going to outweigh any dollar value that you can think of. So at this point in time, the most I can tell you is that it's an undisclosed amount, just for corporate reasons, etc. Thank you. Oh, we're in partnership in the interim for 2 years, but this is something that, if I may say, and I hope I'm not putting the GFA on the spot, that we would like to continue for generations, probably outliving any of us here being in the room.
That's a great question, Mikey. The Grenada Football Association has struggled over the years to get sponsorship, and it's twofold. One, the image of the GFA over the years, but also there is this misrepresentation, misunderstanding with regards to support or funds coming to the GFA from FIFA, and we believe that FIFA is providing the FA with millions of dollars, and as a result, the GFA should not be seeking support or sponsorship. But what I can say to you is, GFA presently has 7 national teams in training. We have our under 14 boys, under 15 girls, under 17 boys, under 17 girls, under 20 boys, senior men, senior women, and it takes a lot to have these teams in training throughout the year. But also, most of the funds from GFA, funds provided by FIFA, goes into national team travel. Our senior men's national team alone spends about $1 million every year, based on travel, accommodation, meals, stipend to the players. We spend at least $1 million every year on the senior men's national team, and we haven't even touched the other national teams yet. So it's a very costly venture to have all these teams in training, to pay staff. Every national team has probably 6 to 7 to 8 staff. The senior men's national team has about 11 staff. So it's a very costly venture. And while we're doing that, we still have all these competitions to run, grassroots programs. We just started the primary school football, and we have to sustain these competitions on our own. So I think Glenelg stepping up today shows the rest of Grenada as to how important it is to partner with an organization like the GFA, who is providing this development opportunities for our young people. As Richard said earlier, football is just more than a sport. It's ability to help young people to realize their goals, whether their goal is to be a farmer or a fisherman or an engineer or a doctor. Football sets that framework, that groundwork, that it instills all the fundamental skills for one to be a proper human being, a proper adult at some point. So, you know, corporate Grenada, I've been saying it over and over. Don't wait until one kid gets to the Premier League. The investment must come now. We must provide the support to grassroots. You know, that's where we identify these kids at 5 and 6 and 7. And then they go into primary school football. You know, the primary school football started off with 56 primary schools from across the country. Today we're in almost the final stage. We have one semi-final left, and then we have the final next week. So as the kids go from, you know, from one level to the next, from grassroots to primary school to secondary school to under 15 to under 17 to under 20, we're expecting more and more of corporate Grenada to come on board and provide the support, not to GFA, but to the young people of our country. And see it more than, as I said, see it more than corporate social responsibility, as in Glenelg. See it as an investment in our people. See it as an investment into young boys and girls who would utilize that investment to someday become something. If we invest in our young people now, we're going to have a better country in 10, 15, 20 years. For too many times we speak about all the ills and all the negatives in our society, but we're not investing in the beginning, in the root of it, to prevent these issues happening later on. So now is an opportunity for more companies like Glenelg to step up and provide support, and not just to football. You know, track and field, and cricket, and basketball, and volleyball, and table tennis. They all need support because everyone is providing the same service. That is the development of our young people. And if we continue to provide support, if we continue to provide an investment in our young people, I am certain that we're going to have a very fruitful, a very productive nation as we go forward over the next couple of years. So I think we're going to wrap up now. Thank you to the media, to everyone in attendance, to everyone watching, everyone listening from across the globe, all Grenadians in the diaspora. There is now a real excitement regarding football in Grenada. There's no real excitement, not just football followers from Grenada, but football followers from all around the globe, especially in the diaspora. If you look at our leagues right now, it's very competitive. At the Premier League, you can go anywhere. At the First Division, it's probably the most competitive competition right now. At the First Division, as teams try to get into the Premier League for next year, there's any of about 4 or 5 teams that can get promoted to the Premier League, and it's down to the wire. You know, Hunved, SAFL, Sun Jets from Grand Roy, Fontenoy United, all these teams are you know, right next to each other as they try to make it into the Premier League next year. So there's a real excitement around football. There's growing numbers at the matches. If you look at the Premier League matches right now, there's tons and tons of people are coming out. Our national teams are preparing. Glenelg is coming in right before our match against Costa Rica, our women's match against Costa Rica next week Saturday at the National Stadium. Our girls have been preparing. We had a camp in Dallas for all the players in North America and Europe a few weeks ago. We believe we should have a very competitive women's team as we face off against Costa Rica next week Saturday. It's the beginning of our World Cup campaign, and Grenada should look forward to a good performance from our team. Our hope is that we can start off with a good victory against a good Costa Rica team, and we continue to provide support. Our boys will be going to a tournament. Our U17 boys will going to a tournament in St. Vincent in December, and right now we should have a Windward Islands under 17 girls competition in Grenada, also in December. More information on that is going to be forthcoming soon. We should have, as I said, Windward Island girls under 17 somewhere around the 10th, 11th of December in Grenada. Our boys under 20 are preparing for World Cup qualifying in February. Boys and girls under 17 will be in World Cup qualifying in February. And then our under 15 girls and under 14 boys are going to be in competition in August. So it's a very exciting time for football. It's a very exciting time to be part of football. And we asking the whole of Grenada to come out and support our, not just support your community teams during the different competitions, but also come out and support the national teams as they try to make Grenada proud and provide a good showing for the Grenada public. You know, our girls started off in League C at the bottom of the table in CONCACAF Nations League 2 years ago. And today, we're in League B and battling for a place in the next World Cup. So next week, Saturday, Grenada, Costa Rica is going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a very good Costa Rica team coming up against a very improved and new Grenada national women's team. 14 of our girls are based in the U.S. Homegrown girls are based at colleges in the U.S. And they all will be returning to represent the country in the game against Costa Rica next week, Saturday. So I'm hopeful that the entire Grenada is going to come out and cheer our girls as they take on Costa Rica next week, Saturday. Thanks again to everyone for watching, listening, from wherever you are around the world. Thank you to Glenelg for stepping up and taking the initiative to partner with us. As I said, Glenelg understands the importance of partnering, of supporting our young people. And I'm happy that we're here at this historical moment to sign this partnership agreement as we try to improve the lives of our young people. Thank you very much. Take some pictures?
Yeah, we can do a photo.